when you kind of ran the show.
Yeah. He prompted us. Hopefully we'll get.
All I did was pester. I don't think that's.
That definitely counts for something.
You didn't even pester. You did it 2 or 3 times, and it's like, okay, how hard is this? But yeah, I was like, well, you can do it Tuesday, but Tuesday y'all can have 5 people. Oh, you want video? Well, Tuesday you can't have 5 people with video.
They were saying we could only have 5 people in the room.
Because of the room. This room is booked tomorrow night.
Oh,
So they were saying that we would have a tiny room that was like 5 to 10.
Well, I hope all of our fans got the message.
Also, she started our live, so I guess I gotta look and see what that means. Dude, we had $200. We could have like 12 pizzas.
I forgot a receipt too, so.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, for the
Receipt
pizza.
and-
I bet I could take a picture of the bank item or something.
Okay, let me see
What
what.
matters if they ask for it.
I think they asked for it, because they're in Poland, so.
Oh, they asked for it. Gotcha, gotcha. I thought I meant like the tax. I thought you were talking about tax.
Yeah. I mean, I paid with the business card and it was like $50, so
Oh, so I guess we couldn't have gotten 12 pizzas.
we could have gotten more pizza, but.
That's okay, if it's just 4. Nobody sent a note last week that said, hey, where are y'all? So I figured that was a plus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so their name is Software Management.
Copy that.
Good. Busy. How about you?
Same.
With conference organizing, how's that going?
Good. Pushed up the schedule
Mm-hmm.
and pushed up an activities page.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun with that. It's a slider,
Oh yeah?
but if you go down the middle, it becomes a carousel.
Okay. I'll check that out. You doing okay on the ticket sales side of things? About tracking?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Elixir?
Yeah, welcome.
Alright. I expect we'll be able to double, and if we double, we'll be in a decent spot.
Nice. It's your first time at the event?
This one, yeah,
This
I think
one?
so.
Nice. Glad you could make it.
Thank you.
How about Cast Magic? How's that going?
Good.
You guys are going into like maintenance mode.
Well, yeah, that's still happening, and we have a one of my partners actually wants to be bought out right now.
Oh.
So he was like, yeah, he wants to sell his portion of the company to us.
Interesting.
How many partners are there?
Just 3 of us. Yeah.
Okay,
so
so-
3 down to 2.
Are you gonna split the buyout, or do you stick to talking
We'll
about it?
do a redemption agreement, so basically the company buys the equity for us, so we don't have to even spend money personally.
Well, that's mighty special. Oh
Yeah.
no, the company will buy it.
I know, yeah.
How much does it cost me? The company.
Yeah, I didn't really push back much on it. I was like, this is too good to be true. So.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Dustin.
Ashanti.
Yeah, you do that.
Nice. Y'all need some help?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're not exactly sure what we need.
Okay.
So we're trying to I'm trying to look up the email where they said we need to connect to them.
Okay.
So how does that work? Is it,
Oh, I
Like
already
where-
started it.
I
It's
mean,
right there.
is that right there?
Yeah, and it's through a YouTube Live. So we broadcast that to a YouTube server, and then from my end, I press go live. Then it'll broadcast to YouTube Live. So I already
Okay.
started it,
Okay.
and it's recording right now.
Okay, let me see if I can figure out what we need to do.
Careful what you say.
Do we- How do we find the link for it?
We could send it to you. You wanna
Okay.
send it to you?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. I can do that when I go upstairs so you can see what's going on. And then if you want the recording, I'll just send it to you.
Oh, great. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay?
Sweet.
Alright.
Yeah, David, you're doing the streaming stuff, so.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
tomorrow.
find it, I know I got an email about it.
Okay. Alright, sweet. I did not bring my laptop down here with me. That was my mistake. That's how I have the link
Yeah.
to send it to you. So I'm gonna run upstairs, grab that link, and shoot it to you. You want me to come back down once I send it?
Cool. Yeah, I mean, David, do you think we'll need it, or
Or you wanna call
need
me?
more help? Yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
There's a custom streaming platform based on FishJam. You can find a custom link that will allow you to log into the platform as the meetup organizer. You can download the streaming app, test your setup, and add presenters.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I don't either.
Yeah, that sounds more custom. I don't know if we'll have time for that.
Yeah. Is it okay if you go back to that email so I could just see who that email was from? Was that even from someone on our team?
No, it wasn't. No, it's not from you.
Okay, that makes sense. Alright, cool. Well, at least I can send you the YouTube live link.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Alright, cool.
Cool.
I'll send that and
Okay, thank you.
yeah, absolutely. I'll text you to make sure everything is okay.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
if not, I'll come back down.
Great. Sounds
Alright.
good. Appreciate it.
Cool. See you guys soon.
See ya.
Yeah, I'll have to see, let me see if we can do,
Yeah, so it seems like it's like a more custom thing, like.
bring your own,
Well, we just need to stream a video, like, we don't need to,
yeah.
right? We don't need to like,
I think the whole Global Elixir Meetup thing is they wanted to like use this software mentioned in streaming.
oh,
And
got
that's
it.
what we're trying to figure out, like, I wonder if we could even like, if YouTube Live has some way to like,
That's what I'm
give
checking.
it another URL to just like proxy through.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we're supposedly live now with 5 viewers.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's probably just like a,
Oh, we can post
placeholder.
with the, if she sends it to us, we can post right here.
That's, that's super funny, on the software mentioned streaming platform, we just use the chat to post the YouTube live.
I'll say, we will post the YouTube live link.
Well, is the way they want us to do it, that's not possible in the next like 10 minutes?
I don't know, maybe.
Cause I mean, if we can use this streaming platform, I think it would be nice to.
Log in as an organizer.
Was I on the email that they sent? For the streaming setup?
Too many questions. No, apparently not. Apparently it just came to me.
Oh, here it is. There we are.
Oh. Wait, if I'm there eating pizza, I'm not
This is
here.
delayed, yeah.
They got a 15-second delay for you, buddy. With the sensor sitting on the button.
Is that only 15 seconds? That feels like a lot.
No, not if he was eating pizza.
Huh?
Not if he was eating pizza, that was a while back. Maybe we're 2 minutes back.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube is really far away.
Yep. Just what I'm watching right now, so.
Okay, do I wanna be an organizer? Maybe I wanna be an organizer. Yet another 6-digit code.
Do you mind if I ask why? Well, we're streaming, I'm not gonna ask more questions.
Yeah, maybe we can save it for,
Higbees?
take these after, yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah, so a fun story. I've never done like a equity buyout either, or like I've never like ran the process. So ChatGPT is getting a lot of use.
Oh yeah, here, check this out. Let's see. So here's that like slider that I was talking about. To switch between maps. Oh, it's not streaming. That's
Oh yeah.
It's alright. I was not showing it up there, so that was my fault. Let me come out of
Oh, it's a cool.
What did I not do that? No. There's one right at the edge. So, it like pops between some different attraction
Ooh.
sites and stuff.
I like that. That's neat.
Yeah. And then it becomes,
Whoa.
and it switches from moving the slider to moving the text.
Tailwind based.
Tailwind, I'm using Astro for this site, so
Nice.
it's all component based.
Nice.
Using, I think, Vue or React, I'm not actually really sure which, because I'm not writing any of the code.
Amazing. I like that interaction a lot. That's cool.
Yeah. And we got the schedule, so you got it. You can go in here. Here's a. So this does it as well. Pop that out, and it puts in like a slider pill.
That's very cool.
But let's see.
I'm on there. Yep.
There you are, just in front of you. If you click, it takes you to your favorites and social links in your doc.
Wait, am I closing out?
The first day one. Yeah.
What? I'm practically a keynote. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, you were so I tried to pair people up, like talks, so that we had one of each on each day, so it wasn't like all the AI talks on one day or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're kind of in your own bucket. So I was like, you know what, like, I think that might be a good way to close the first day, so that's what we're doing.
I have a lot of thoughts on my talk. Need to start writing them down. I want to have it fully written by like mid-October, so I can like practice it.
Yeah. Two thoughts
usually
for
a
my-
last-minute talk writer.
I was gonna say, like, from experience, those things tend to get written. Even my ElixirCon talk, I was like,
Yeah.
I had my thoughts, I knew where I was going, but like really put it together in the last couple days.
Yeah.
As a conference organizer, would love for you to do that.
Okay, you've got a URL?
I do, yeah. You want me to? I can Slack it to you or something.
Yes, Slack it to me, and I'll post that, and we'll see if we can get the other thing running. It's supposed to send me a 6-digit code 5 minutes ago.
Dude, I was trying to get Thomas. I kept texting him. I was like, Thomas, fill out the speaker confirmation form, please. I want to get your info. Turns out I don't know who I was texting, but I definitely was not texting him. Because eventually I hopped on X and I was like, I know he's on X. I'm just gonna DM him there. And he's like, I haven't received anything.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's off the grid right now, so.
Oh, fully.
Yeah.
Like, is he still in Canada then?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Dude, I mean, massive congrats for him, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, the stuff that he's working on, like, on the side right now is like, just like hilariously cool. Like, he set up his computer so that, he can connect to it from his phone using like
Remote desktop?
Yeah, like a remote desktop,
Yeah.
like a reverse proxy kind of situation. And so he can basically text Claude Code from his phone, which is working on stuff on his computer all the time. And then
Nice.
even push and deploy from his phone. So he'll be like out fishing like by the lake, and like every 15, 20 minutes he just pulls out his phone and it's like, alright, now do this. and puts it away. Yeah, it's like this whole, yeah, he's like dialing in this perfect AI setup.
Yeah, I want these talks to happen like, not in November.
Like,
They need
you
to
want
happen
them to happen
sooner,
now?
yeah. Cause I feel like it doesn't matter how much I try, I'm just always behind.
Yeah.
I cannot leave my AI alone for more than like 30 to 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I don't know if it's because I'm like, I just need to have my fingers in it, like I just don't feel comfortable letting it run for that long.
Yeah, does it depend what you're doing, like he was having it, like, build a component library for him, and then like document every component, like, so like every change is this kind of big sweeping change, so I'm sure like there were a lot of smaller changes that took us time.
Yeah, he was also, I know while we were at Elixir Conf, he was saying that he was doing a lot of like heuristic or metric driven coding, meaning like, hey, I need you to improve the performance until we get to here. Just
Right.
go until you get it done, right? Here's the way to test, here's the way to.
And that kind of puts it in this loop where
Yeah.
it's like kind of forced to keep going.
Exactly, and it knows what the end goal is, so it knows if it's getting better or worse.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I don't know how to do that when you're building an app from scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get it to take a small repository of like 8 pages in TypeScript and convert it to Elixir, and it's like, okay.
Did
The
it
first
do it?
version sucked.
Oh.
The second version we're getting closer, but it needs D3, so I'm seeing if it can figure out how to do that. Okay, so I posted the YouTube thing. I'm still waiting for my 6-digit code, which hasn't arrived yet.
Mm.
So if they tune in, they'll at least see our YouTube feed.
So where do you work right now?
I work at a company called Northlake Analytics. We rebranded to Northlake AI, and we do patient record collection.
We write code, that's
too.
good.
Yeah, we clean patient records and do like patient record system integrations
Nice.
and AI enablement for healthcare organizations.
Nice. Is the AI part new-ish?
Yes and no. We've been using vision learning for a very long time, as a lot of
Okay.
healthcare has. But we're just kind of leaning into it more.
Nice. That's exciting. Do you
Yeah.
write
Do you
any
feel like
Elixir
a
there,
part?
or is this?
I don't know a ton about Elixir. This
Yeah.
is kind of a learning thing for
You will
me.
see very little Elixir. Just gonna tell you. Sorry.
Wait, what do you say?
You're gonna see very little Elixir.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, we can get
You'll
into
just
it
see cool
afterwards.
stuff.
But if you come next month, we'll have more Elixir.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
And I gave this talk, and it had to be done in 20 minutes, so I had to like blast through everything, but we can stay a little bit longer, and I can try and show off some code, after the talk is done.
Also, Nathan is hosting XMEX in this very building in a month. If you want to come to a fully Elixir-focused conference.
Yeah.
Okay, we might wait a little bit on that. Still kind of new to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use mostly Python, JavaScript, all the cool XML, all the cool stuff healthcare uses.
Nice.
Wow. It's a fight to get them to adopt Python. So baby steps with them.
Yeah. If it's a fight to get them to adopt Python, then Elixir is probably very
It's
much
a fight
out
to
of
get them
question.
to change off of fax machines. A fight with the one
Yeah.
I worked at Lockheed Martin out of college, and we injected Ruby via JRuby, because like the JVM was approved already. So we just grabbed the JRuby like package, put it into the manifest, right, and just let it. And then so we were writing Ruby, right, deploying it over JVM and all
Yeah.
that. Because we just like getting Ruby approved would have been a non-starter.
Yeah. Cool. Do we have viewers on the stream right now?
I don't know.
2 watching. I think 1 is me.
We have 5 online.
Alright, well, I think they're probably expecting us to start around now. I don't think anyone else is coming in person, so.
There's nothing wrong with an intimate group.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes we have, it's just kind of hit or miss sometimes, like, so, like we've had like, you know, close to 15 people before, and then sometimes, you know, it's a bit smaller, but always fun.
Yeah.
When we're off a week and we're on a Monday instead of a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So all that shifting around, you know, normally I couldn't make a Monday.
Yeah, this is not our normal time.
Can we?
Well, look, I'm still eating pizza. We're definitely
I'm way
doing
behind,
something.
I paused it.
There's like
Oh, okay.
there's an AI filter where everyone's always eating pizza on the screen.
That's probably
You know, that's how they pay for it, the pizza advertisement, everybody's always eating pizza, there's a little thing that says pizza.
It's like at sports stadiums where they have filters that like give you like change your hat from one team to the other team on the live video feed. I don't know if you've seen like those. They have like funny filters.
So, those are fun. I'm sure, I don't know, I knew somebody who was like part of that, like, he was a mascot at a national, Major League Baseball team. And they, like, a lot of those, like, kiss cams or other, like, fan cams, some of it's staged. They
Oh,
actually
yeah.
get the mascots to go out and do the funny thing that everybody's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised by that.
Once I heard it, I wasn't, but I was like, dadgummit.
I know.
The magic.
I know.
Ah, as
Yeah.
long as the thing on the field isn't staged.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
live in a kiss can being staged.
That is true. Alright. Grab the lights.
If they say, if you are using OBS, you can use virtual cam. Did that sound like, if you use this Python package?
I know what OBS is, but I think it's a bit much to get Nathan to download it and like set it up and like that's like a whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
that's,
just stream on our YouTube.
I do not have OBS on this machine.
Yeah, maybe we just use the YouTube link.
Let's use the YouTube link, because I've requested my 6-digit code twice,
Okay.
and I've been waiting 15 minutes, so if they can't send me a 6-digit code, then.
Alright, next time we can do the proper streaming setup. Keep track for it.
Awesome, so we're good to go?
Good to go? Yeah.
Alright, let's see, my name is Nathan. I am currently the only employee at Convivial Tech and one of the organizers for XNextConf, which is coming up. And I'm gonna give you the talk that I gave at ElixirConf earlier at the end of August, on stranger domains. Basically, the idea is, you know, thinking through how to embed your app across the web. Alright, actually, before we get started, I just wanna make a claim, like, I've done some research here, I believe I have reasonable claims to some expertise, but I am definitely not claiming to be an expert on every piece of this, based on my research. If you think you know more, I would love to hear about it. Alright, so we'll jump in. Right, so the goal here, for this project was to provide a secure, rich, unique, and embedded user experience that includes financial transactions to our customers, both users and clients, I think, through third-party websites. So, really, like, you're gonna see me use the word clients. What I mean by clients are publishers or content creators, and you'll get a sense of that. And then the customers are the people that are gonna be visiting those content creator sites. So clients and customers are kind of how I'm separating those two different demographics. But the idea here is that we just want to provide a solution that allows someone to, on their content site, include a tip jar or purchase some products, and you know, add a widget that would allow them to purchase products and make, or you know, make some kind of microtransaction via tip or something like that. All right, so the first problem we have to know who the client is, so who the content creator is, and who the customer is, who is the person visiting that site, who wants to engage with our widgets or our embedded experiences, to provide the right experience without exposing the wrong data, right? And so what we really mean here is, like, if you go to somebody's content site, we wanna make sure we're only showing the products they wanna be selling, not anybody else's. and, you know, as the user, you wanna know if you purchased or did not purchase yet something on their site. You know, you wanna know what's in your wallet, but not be able to see what's in other people's wallets. You know, you want a secure experience. And so the idea here is that we just need to know who you are, because that's the first step, is to know who you are. Luckily, this is a largely solved problem, so we're gonna focus a little bit on OAuth 2 here. And specifically for our use case, because they're content creators, they're not tech people, they're not gonna, you know, we don't know if they're gonna have a back-end server that they have access to or control over. So we're gonna use the proof key for code exchange, or the Pixie OAuth 2 flow, which is strictly gonna be kind of client-side, web-based OAuth flows to authenticate. Alright. And we're just gonna walk through that a little bit here, so you can, this is kind of a general flow. The client is going to redirect the user over to the authorization server, or what we're gonna call the provider. On that provider site, we're gonna prompt the end user for authentication and verify that they are okay with this. So they'll give us consent. Once we do that, we will then redirect them back to the client site, where we'll provide an authorization code that the client can then use via like an XHTTP, whatever, you know, make a I forget what the XHR request, something like that. Anyway, they can use that to then like use that code to finally get the last steps and finalize the authentication and authorization and get an access token. I think it's useful to know that there are redirects in this process. You may not see them, they happen pretty quick, especially if you're already authenticated, but they are happening, and you can always see them in the console if you want. Sweet, so this is definitely not code we want to write ourselves. If we can lean on somebody else, and that brings us to Baruda. It's a great little library in Elixir. It's OpenID certified, so you know it's going to be fairly well done and fairly secure, so that was great. There are other options. This is just the one I went with based on, you know, reading through the package and active development. Here I'm noting it's 2.3, but they're in active development on 3.0. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that if this is something you're interested in. And just to be clear, this is from the provider side. I think a lot of us have experience using like Google authentication, where we're consuming the authenticate, right? We're sending somebody to Google. In this case, we're acting as Google, right? We are the ones that are being, providing the token, making sure they authenticate, doing all the stuff that Google would normally do via OpenID and that kind of stuff. So definitely a bit more complex than just your general kind of consumer side or client side flows. Sweet. There are a couple gotchas that you should be aware of. I started my project on Phoenix 1.8 because that's out. The current Baruda is not, let's say 1.8 aware, so it's using the old style views, so you are going to have to convert things over to either JSON modules or HTML modules to match the 1.8 modules for view modules. And also, like, it's not scope aware, which is also introduced in 1.8, so you're going to have to write some a little bit extra work to grab the current user, which Baruda does expect to have, out of the scope. Just some gotchas that I ran into while I was building this out. And then the other thing, like, it does do a lot of work for you, but it can't do everything. It doesn't know how you want to integrate it into your site, whether you want to connect it to organizations or to individual users, or, you know, how you want to, you know, who you want to give this OAuth client management experience to. So that is something you're gonna have to write on your own. But here's a general flow. In this case, this person does not have an OAuth client yet, so they insert an application name, they determine their redirect URI, they insert that, and they can create the client, and here's the other side of that. So the Daily Tribune has a client ID that they can now cut and paste. The redirect URI is, as we talk through the flow, where they're going to be sent back to once the user authenticates and consents to the, or authorizes the client to act on their behalf. So those are two key pieces. Great. So now we have an OAuth flow. We now can verify we know who the person is via client, or who the client is via client ID. and who the customer is via authentication. So now that we have that, we want to embed our experience on other sites, but we still want to have an app-like experience with real-time updates across all of our clients. And really what we're saying here is we want that live view, modern sweetness, right? We want to make that work seamlessly. We want to have it feel modern and efficient, snappy, and just, do the things that live view does. So let's talk through the different embedded options that we have. We have web components, we have iframes. In this case, for the first part of this, we're gonna use web components. There's reasons for this. First off, using a web component, it has first-class access to the whole site, right? So it's just a custom component. You insert that on the page. It's in the native, right? It's in the top level page that everything else is in. So you're gonna have fewer content security policy concerns. Things like iframes can really be locked down, and they may not even support sockets. Asking somebody to unlock sockets or to undo content security policies can be very difficult depending on who's running their site or whether they have even that kind of level of access. So really trying to avoid having to deal with CSP as much as possible. This feels native, it's just another element, so it's nice, it's custom, but it looks like the other HTML stuff that you put in. And you can expose custom attributes for styling or other data passing that makes it just feel a little more natural than an iframe might. All right, and this is where we look at live state. So, I mentioned we want that live view experience, but live view is really great when it's on the site that you're running and can use the session which it's expecting so that it can pull out your scopes, your user, your whatever that looks like. They can pull that out of the cookie that they're storing, and it's pretty dependent on that kind of thing. I'm sure it could be done. I don't want to say I'm sure. I did try to do this, and it can-ish be done, but we definitely ran into a lot of issues, and we could not get it to fully work, so I'm sure if we pushed hard. That said, live state is great. It basically gives you all that socket goodness, passing data back and forth without all the overhead of building views and having to manage sessions and stuff through cookies and kind of fit the live view mold. So this really helped us out a lot. Cores is another great thing. We'll talk about cores here in a little bit as well. Some things to note, right? So once we have you authenticated, the idea is that you'll then take that token on the client side, you'll start up a live state socket, right, a connection, and you're gonna pass that token in as part of the initiation or initialization of that socket. This is exactly what you would do with an HTTP request. That said, standard HTTP, you send that token with every request. But when you have an open socket and it's just open and you're passing data, you're not resending that token every time, and we're not rechecking that token every time. So there are some things that you do need to be aware of and make sure that you're accounting for. I don't know how this would scale, but in the prototype, this worked very well. We monitored for token expiration, so we just kind of spun up a separate process that knew about the token and kind of when it was about to expire, and would kind of monitor it as it expired, and then update. So like, if it was a couple hours before it expired, we would set a really long sleep time kind of thing on it, and so that would just go, and then hours got closer, we'd shrink that sleep time down. And then also, token can be revoked. So you might like the site and then you want to revoke the token so they can't act on your behalf anymore. We need to make sure that we're accounting for that. So we set up a pub sub on the back end that says if you revoke this token, we'll be aware of it and we'll immediately shut the connection down. And that's pretty nice. So these are things you just have to be aware of that are going to be a little bit different when using sockets over HTTP. Those things kind of happen naturally because OAuth was really built for HTTP, but it does work in this case. Sweet. And now you can kind of see, so if we have the Daily Tribune here, we have this wonderful kind of New York Times kind of site, and down at the bottom we have this little toaster pop-up that allows you to send a tip, but you can see that we're not logged in. And then once we go through those processes of logging in, we now have a custom element that's showing, what we might tip if we were to send the credits, and then, we can see here that, you know, it is aware that it is the Daily Tribune, and it knows how much this person has in their wallet, which at the time of the screenshot was 90 credits. Sweet. All right, so gone through a couple problems. Let's keep going. Problem number 3. Web components and OAuth are great until they are not. Specifically for financial transactions, we need more security here. And let's talk through that. So I think in this case, iframes make a little bit more sense, specifically when engaging on that financial transaction. We want to make sure that we have more security, more isolation, and an iframe provides that, right? So there is complete isolation between the parent and the iframe. So right, there are ways to talk between them, but there are explicit ways to communicate, and both sides need to be aware of it. So if we don't want to communicate, we have pretty decent confidence that we have isolation here. We want to make sure that the inputs are unreadable, right? And once you're using an iframe, you can point now directly at yourself. So you're actually serving up these pages or this final experience. So we're not relying on, say, a custom web component or anything like that. Right. Okay. And let's see. I forget if we talked through that here. Yeah, all right, we'll talk about that. So another, so we talked about OAuth 2, the other part with OAuth is once you've authorized somebody, they can then use that token as much as they want on your behalf, right? So if we didn't have these kind of blockers, they could then send that token over the API, right? They could just hit the API. If you expose like a wallet API, they could then just spam that wallet and drain your wallet, right? If they were just to spam the wallet API, they could drain your wallet without your interaction. So that's something we want to avoid as well. And we'll talk a little bit about how that works in a moment. So for that last piece, we're just going to throw up an iframe pop-up, and we'll see how that looks. Let's see. Iframe gotchas. Don't pass the token in the URL. You just don't want to expose that, right? That can be seen because the URL is going to be a get URL, so you're going to have that in your query params, and you just don't want to expose that token in the query params as it crosses the interwebs. You know, I mentioned this earlier. Content security policies and rules can be really tricky. So, you know, do as little as possible, try and stay within the confines as much as possible. So in this case, we're actually going to use HTTP requests instead of using a socket, just because that's less likely to be a concern when using an iframe, and it's less likely to be locked down. And then, even in an iframe, you can pass information around, so be careful what you are passing around via the post message APIs on the site. Yeah, so good things to be aware of. All right, and then cores, embedded experience gotchas, right? So I think hopefully most people are experienced with cores. You know, when I'm doing this app, I had to set up cores. Let's see if I talk through this now. All right, so I had to set up cores for static sites. I had to set it up for the socket. I had to set it up for the HTTP request. So I was doing this in 3 different places. And I actually think that's just fine. It's a little bit of a headache, but ultimately, when it comes to cores, the last thing you want to do is expose a resource that shouldn't be exposed across origin, because that can be also its own security risk, right? So you want to make sure that only the things you meant to expose are being exposed and are accessible through cross origin access, through cores access. All right, sweet. And so here's the pop-up. So you can see, hopefully, down there at the bottom, we clicked on send 5 tokens. That went to confirming. What that actually did was pop up this iframe as a modal. So it looks like a modal, but this is an iframe, and it's going to ask for a passcode. This could be a one-time passcode. It could be something we send via email. Whatever that looks like, it may be ephemeral. It may be something. The idea is it's something that you and your customer know about that the client has no idea about, such that you can have some confidence that they are actively engaged in this transaction. Rather than hoping, you know, this is what we're doing to avoid that idea of spamming the wallet API, right? So avoiding that idea that somebody could drain your wallet because you gave them access via the token. All right. And then problem number 4, So now we have solved a few technical problems, but how do we bring them all together and make sure it's easy for our client customer to integrate into their site? As I mentioned, these are content creators, these are publishers, these are not technical people. So we want to make this as easy as possible for them to integrate into their site without having to know a bunch about cores, sockets, all the stuff we just mentioned, right? We want to obfuscate that, we want to solve that problem for them. And hooray for SDKs. So we're going to build our own SDK here. The idea here is they can then just cut and paste a script and cut and paste that component, custom component, and put that on the site in the right place, and everything just works. Yeah, so one gotcha that I ran into with the SDK, I know we all try to avoid JavaScript and Webpack or all that fun stuff. I did end up needing a build step, right? Like I mentioned, I used live state, so that has a client side aspect to it, so I needed to make sure that got pulled in. We don't want to include that as a separate cut and paste. It also doesn't really work that way, so you're just gonna have a build step. Also, depending on how you're doing your OAuth, I did mine 5 style for the prototype and for this demo. But if you wanted to use an OAuth library, a client-side library, which is probably the better way to go, you're going to want to make sure you pull that in as well. Yeah, so you're probably going to have to build stuff that is part of your SDK build. Not a huge gotcha, but just something to be aware of if you're going to be back in that world. All right, and that's what this looks like. So we saw the top part of this, so when you generate your client, this shows up at the bottom. So you can see here we have a section where we're going to load the provider SDK, and then we're going to initialize that. I don't know if you guys remember, but if you notice, the client ID here is the client ID that was on that previous screenshot, and the redirect URI is also the same here. And then the base URL is actually pointing back at us, the provider. So right, this is all generated for us. They don't have to know where to put that stuff, even though we're showing it to them in other places. If they want to cut and paste it, they can, but like we are providing like fully just cut and paste, click the clipboard, put it on your site in the right place, and then do that same thing with the provider. And we even showed them a couple options they could use if they want to customize the default amounts, whether they want a dark theme or not, whether they want it to start minimized, just, you know, some nice demoing experiences. All right, so how does this all work together? We kind of talked through the whole problem. And this is, you know, the client creates their code, they install that code on their site, they create the OAuth client, they cut and paste that in SDK into their site. The tip widget is initialized, and it's just going to show that login experience that we saw. Once the user engages the OAuth flow, the widget is initialized to a functioning tip widget. The user selects how much they want to tip, and they click the tip button, which engages the iframe. You know, the modal pops up. We insert the user confirmation code. I will say for the demo, the confirmation code is just hard coded to 1, 2, 3, 4. But obviously you want to do something a little more secure, as mentioned. And then the broadcast of that change. So once you tip the person and the transaction is complete, we're going to broadcast that to anywhere else you might be logged in and somebody's subscribed to that PubSub experience. And then the change is going to be reflected across all the widgets and pages listening. All right, you guys ready for a demo?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Or not.
No, we're gonna do it. It's working. This is just I'm trying to decide. Let's actually create a new user. Oh, this is login. Let's register.
What does login only this time do? Is that a new button?
That's a good question. You're talking about
Yeah. Does that come with Phoenix now?
that. I did not put there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh,
I think it
cool.
does. I have no idea what the difference is here. Maybe this is something added by. No, that doesn't even make sense. I'm gonna take that back. I was thinking Burrito might do this, but I doubt it. I highly doubt that.
looks like it replaced the, like the keep me logged in checkbox that they used to have.
Okay,
I
so
don't
it's
know,
two
maybe
separate
they
buttons.
thought security wise, or something is better to have two buttons, but.
Where Daisy forced them into it.
Yeah, Daisy probably doesn't even have a checkbox component.
Alright, so I'm just gonna create a fun user here. We're gonna go to the mailbox, we're gonna click on the link, confirm and stay logged in. Let's see here. You can see all this fun stuff. We're at the settings page. This is very minimal. Literally the only thing behind authentication is the settings pages. So you can see here, I just added a demo button so I can add 100 credits to this person. The OAuth client is on a separate page. And so we had this app, right? So we can come in here and we can go demo app, and we're gonna do HTTP localhost. You would never do this in production. But it doesn't matter, we just need to put something in there that's valid. And as shown from the screenshots, we have client ID and a redirect URI, which generates our code here. If we wanted to regenerate the client, so let's say the client ID got exposed in some way that we just don't feel comfortable with, and we want to generate a new one, we can do that. We just confirm, we just let you know, hey, we're gonna delete, like the old one is gonna stop working, are you sure you want that? We're gonna say yes. And you can see here that both the client ID and the redirect URI stay the same, but client ID was updated here and updated in our SDK integration. Let's just do it one more time. So we start with ODE, do this, there we go, now we have 650. So it is updating in both places, and both of those previous client IDs will no longer work. Alright, so that's just kind of how to generate the code, but I've already done that on a couple sites. So we're gonna come over here, and we've got two different sites here. We've got the Daily Tribune, this is kind of the publisher site, right? You have articles, you have whatever, you have a team of people that are posting news or whatever that is. And then you might have like a blogger who's doing kitchen recipes and wants to do something, you know, on their own. Sweet, they both have the login screen. We'll go over here and we'll log in. It already logged in. Alright, hold on, let's log out. And I'm gonna come over here and I am going to log out so that we can see that experience. Alright, so if you remember that redirect game, we were redirected. We're gonna actually log in as somebody else. And we'll go check the mailbox. There it is. Keep me logged in. Alright, so we come back, we can see that we have 80 credits. We're gonna start with 5, that's great. We logged in, we know who we're at, you can see all that works. And then we're gonna log in on the Cozy site as well. And we're gonna see here again, so they've defaulted to 3 instead of 80, maybe they don't feel as comfortable asking for 5 credits, whatever those are. Whatever those are worth. But you can see here that it is showing 80 credits on both sides, so the balance is 80. And if we were to come over here and look at our settings, right, so we can come back here and, well, let's just go to settings here. What is it? Users, I think it's user/settings, right?
Plural users.
Users, thank you. Alright, there we are. And we can see that even on the site we are showing that Trey has 80 credits. Alright, so we're gonna come over here, we're gonna click on the send 5 credits. It's gonna pop up that password, we're gonna type in the hard-coded 1, 2, 3, 4 and confirm the tip. We should see the 80 drops down to 75. If we go over to the Cozy Kitchen, you can see that it dropped to 75, and if we go look at our settings page, we also got updated to 75. Sweet.
Nice.
So that is it. I'm not gonna give you the choice because we can do both. So you're gonna get the hot take and the questions. Sweet. A little bit playful here, but localhost considered harmful. Really, like, this demo, I don't know if you noticed, but up here, you probably can't tell, but the URL is CL, like client1.test. This is client2.test. We have a provider.test. If we were to try and do this over localhost with ports, we would have had no guarantees it was actually working the way we wanted it to work. So this project really did require it. This talk, giving this demo, required that I have these things set up locally. I believe that it's useful for every project, even though my slides are under,
Oh, hey, sorry.
Okay. I believe it's useful for every project, so even my talk, which I'm running locally using Reveal.js, is under a local domain rather than using localhost. The nice things about it, it supports HTTPS. It's going to be more production-like. It's actually very easy to do. It really doesn't take that much effort, and if that's the problem, it's too easy. You can definitely make it hard. Throw Nginx at it, add a bunch of whatever you want to make it difficult. Yeah, so really, the easy version is brew install and set up caddy. Brew install and set up DNS mask. That's just going to avoid forcing you to make edits to your Etsy hosts file every time you want to add one. So this just eliminates a repetition, which is nice. You can just capture everything under star.test. If you do want to use star.test as your .test as your top level domain, this I don't like it either, and it's a bit silly, but it just follows the standards. So don't use .local. That's actually used by what is that? Apple uses it for their the printer discovery, device discovery. I forget what that thing is called though. They have a name for that protocol, whatever. So that's used for public, like kind of local broadcast, which is used by your devices. So you just don't want to get in the way of that. So don't use .local. .dev. We don't have to get into it. Let's keep. Just don't use .dev either. This is literally what you put in your caddy file once you've got HTTP set up, HTTPS set up, which is a one-line command for caddy to then generate the cert on your local machine and use that. So very easy. You can see I set up all three here. I gave them their own ports, and just said, making sure they're TLS internal. So they're all using HTTPS. They're all using their own ports. On the Elixir side, you do still have to do a little bit of work. So you need to make sure that you're setting the host to be localhost, or to not be localhost if you want to do this. So you could either set like an nvar, or you could default to an answer and then have the option to, trade out for something else. And then you're going to want to make sure you set up HTTPS and use the right port in your URL. All right, and this is in dev.x. This is going to look very similar to what's in your prod.exs. Is that the right file? I forget what's in the prod. I very rarely touch it. So. But this is going to look almost exactly like that. The other nice thing is when dev mode, when running in dev mode on Phoenix, you can pass a port in now as a parameter. So you don't even have to set a port if you don't want to, but you really can. So if using the code I just showed you, this would run provider.test for everything on port 4001, which matches what we have in our caddy file. And Bob's uncle. Let's see. So the really useful thing here to know is that browsers see domains as being separate. So their storages are separate, how they manage cookies are separate. This is going to match, what you see in production. So when you're in the wild, you're not going to any local host places. You're going to whatever.com, whatever.net, whatever.io. And the other nice thing is once you've got this set up, everything can be run locally. I think we see a lot of people who would have to do something like this by pushing to staging. Every edit they made and everything they wanted to try, they have to push into one or multiple staging servers to test it. And having everything run locally just meant everything was already watching files, so they were updating automatically. Everything was working as expected. It was just a really nice, quick feedback loop, which is what you want. All right, that's the end. As mentioned, I'm running XMXConf. Here's a code for you if you want $25 against the cost of the ticket. This will be valid until the last day of the month at 12 p.m. Central. There's probably a way to change that time, but I haven't figured it out, so they all end at 12 p.m. Central. That's what it is. Yeah, we'd love to see you if you wanna come out. Yeah, there's a nice little code for you. Good for the next week.
Awesome. Are you gonna stream the conference, so like people who are watching remotely could attend? We have that in our back pocket. What we'll probably do is not stream it. Yeah. So no virtual tickets?
No virtual tickets. We're trying. I understand not everybody can do the in-person thing, but part of this conference was making an in-person experience.
Yeah.
Like there are not that many Elixir conferences out there in the US right now, and I just thought like, it'd be really nice to bring people together. That's what I enjoy. That's what I think was powerful for me as I was growing in my career, and it just sets up a different experience. So we're trying to really promote the in-person thing. If we end up having to do the virtual thing for financial reasons, we can, but we're not currently looking at it. That said, we are going to be recording the talks, and we will likely be posting them.
Awesome.
Yeah, you won't miss out if you can't make it. You just won't see it at the same time. Sweet. Any questions or?
I already saw your talk once, so I think I asked my questions then.
Totally. Anybody else? All good, if not.
Well, I guess, so this was a consulting project that you worked on for another company?
Yeah, so, we're currently building a prototype. This is another prototype that's not been embedded in the site yet, cause, we haven't built a production version of it, but there was a lot. It was kind of the riskiest unknown, so I did a lot of research into that and figuring it out. And luckily, I have some background in OAuth, that helped out a lot. I've dealt with iframes and such before, but not to this level. So it was, there was still a lot for me to learn and understand. And I think this is a fairly unique way of doing it. Like, definitely iframes and web components are used all over the place. Maybe not unique, right? There's Stripe. Stripe does it all over the place, but there aren't many Stripes out there. So, yeah. Cool.
Can it be expanded beyond a simple tip, like you can control a range thing, or have a menu of products, or
Yeah,
like
so
a subscription?
100%. That was part of part of what the client wants, and what I was hoping to get into the demo, but did not have time for, was building something that was more like a purchase experience.
Yeah.
So you could go in there and purchase it, and then it would show that you had purchased it, and instead of saying, showing you the purchase button, it would show you the link to the digital product or whatever it was that you had purchased, and do those kind of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's totally doable. It's
So it's not on this yet, no?
just not in this demo, ran out of time, but it will definitely be part of what the customer is building. Yeah. Sweet. Awesome.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah. David, do you have anyone in the chat asking questions, or?
No, we have 4 viewers, but no questions.
Sweet. Excellent. We just posted an activities page in the new schedule, so if you want to check out the schedule and
Oh
stuff.
God, I don't recognize Austin's skyline at all. Like, I saw that picture, I had to do a double take and be like, wait, is that Austin?
This is
Yeah,
the
it
Austin
frickin' is.
skyline.
And actually, this picture is pretty outdated
Yes,
already.
it is.
There are a few new buildings already in this picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
drive
giant
this
sail
one.
monstrosity sound just really stands out.
Yeah, the Google building.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is both new and old.
Yeah, because I think this picture would include the water line, like super tall tower.
Oh yeah, like right, it's like.
Way to the right, but it's not there.
Yeah. And we're missing tons of cranes. Like, I don't know when they took this, but they took it when all the
Yeah.
cranes were down.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Or
to
they
date
went through
myself, but I remember when like the Frost Tower and UT were like the 2 tallest buildings in Austin skyline.
So you've been here for a bit then?
Like 16 years-ish.
Nice.
There's a 2-year break in there where I lived in Singapore, but.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. 16 years.
Nice.
Well, I think that's it. Should we, do a Higbee's run?
I'm down for it.
Sometimes if we have more time, we'll go get a beer across the street if you're interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to skip and try to cut back. I way too much last week.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Normally I'd be all over it, but.
So I will let her know, we need to get parking passes. from our
That's
side.
also true, yeah,
So can you
so,
find out where she pinged me? Oh, I think we texted.
yeah, we validate parking in the garage if you park there.
I live in Clarksville, so I walk here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a good walk.
Not quite, it's like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Nice.
It's not too bad.
I like
Sounds
that
like a nice
area.
walk to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to live in like Singapore, like walking like everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's like, to me, it's not unusual to like 30-minute walk to me is not that unusual.
Yeah, I moved here from New York, and
Yeah.
30-minute walk
Same
used
thing, I think,
used to be
yeah.
piece of cake, or like biking or what have you. Now it's like anything
Texans
longer
are
than
really
a 10-minute
averse to
walk, I'll
walking,
drive
yeah.
it.
Texans are really
Yeah.
averse to walking.
Yeah.
I still kept the habit though. I kind of just walk as much as I can.
You have to be in the right place. Like, you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
basically
No,
be
yeah, for sure. I don't live in the suburbs. I live like not quite downtown, but like right outside.
I live 2-minute drive from the Domain, and I couldn't walk there if I wanted to.
Oh yeah, no.
Next
The amount of traffic.
next
I
meetup, you're late because you're walking down Mopac, like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not even the distance. It's just not safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Clarksville is Clarksville here though. It's all like walking, it's all pedestrian.
Yeah.
space.
I mean, I live on.
It's probably faster than trying to drive here actually, at least
Probably.
in the middle of the day.
I live on Rainy, so
Okay.
my walk might be shorter, but I bring pizza. I don't want to
Yeah.
walk the pizza the whole way.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Luckily, I found a parking spot on the street this time. It was like right there.
Yeah. That's
Oh yeah,
lucky.
the other thing is the Capitol Factory parking is hell with mine.
Yeah.
Mondays and Tuesdays, if you get here right at, or like 10 minutes before 6, it's not bad. And it's free on Mondays and Tuesdays, so.
I'm not used to it being so quiet here, cause I'm used to Fiesta being on the same day.
Yeah, you know what, I signed up for that, I was gonna go last week, I was like,
Oh, really?
I don't ever get to go, I should go, and then like, I felt really bad.
Yeah.
And I ended up not going.
Oh, dude, no, they get like 200 people there.
What we should have done is gone to the JavaScript meetup last
Oh,
week.
yeah.
It's always on the same day as the Elixir meetup, so I never get to go. Yeah, I've been meaning to go preach to that crowd for a while.
Nice.
Get some more attendees here.
Yeah.
Poach their people.
Yeah.
Come to their meeting, come to our meeting.
I was about to say something that's probably not true, but I do feel like they are one of the few communities that are they're very unwilling to test other technologies in general. They're like, but JavaScript does it all, why would I do anything else?
Well, that's
Well,
because
I
they're too
mean-
busy testing the JavaScript framework.
You say that, but they do switch frameworks or have a
Within
tendency to switch frameworks
It's
every
also a
week.
little, it's
Yeah.
also a little bit of a conceptual jump off, to be fair. If you don't know
Yeah.
object oriented.
Yeah.
I think that has more to do with it. Like, it's weird to be somebody who can do JavaScript, like, oh, I don't know how to program, and then they're like scared of learning like C or
Mhm.
something. I'm like, it's not that big of a jump. You're just
Yeah.
like, because people are really good at convincing themselves that they don't understand computers.
Yeah.
And then like, even though they find these weird roundabout ways, they're like, this is more complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Than what you're learning how to do.
Yeah.
Like there's some JavaScript stuff I see which is way more complicated than just like
Mhm.
taking the time to learn Python or Java or something. And I'm
Right.
like, you've like actually paid a pretty high cost, like
Yeah.
just for like, to be honest, now that you already know how to program anyway, like just making it object oriented is not like that big of a step.
Yeah.
I do think, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Well, like, there's like one of the criticisms I see of like Elixir sometimes is that like it makes the hard things really easy, but it makes the easy things really hard for like beginners. Or like if someone just wants to like set a field on a map, you can't do that the same way. But yeah, exactly. You know, every time you pick up a new language, it gets easier.
Yeah, because like even
the
like
basics.
because I have to be in and out of like multiple languages on the day all the time
Mhm.
anyway. So I'm not even like people who are totally devoted to one language is a little hard for me to understand, because it's not even conceivable, because like there's so many standards floating around healthcare that you have to switch in and out. XML, JSON, Python, Java, all kinds of crazy shit to come up with. And even some extremely outdated stuff, like the worst one is I did a server in Fortran one time. Yeah, and I had to find somebody to teach me just enough Fortran to the server. Not the whole thing. I was like, oh Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Have you ever even had like an opportunity to write Fortran?
Well, I found another bad one the other day. One of my friends.
You've never had the opportunity,
To
or
write Fortran, yeah.
Oh, good for you. No,
You missed out.
there's no
And COBOL.
whatsoever. It's not even.
just trying to put it out.
But another one, there was this friend of mine who owns an EMR company. They had to migrate a customer away from a database. And this database, I didn't even know this was a thing. Okay, they had a database. This EMR was hosted on a database that was a closed, proprietary database written in a proprietary language that only exists on that server. You have to pay that company to unlock the language and/or the server.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a thing?
That's totally a thing. There's
that?
a
While
ago.
database called Icons that is used by most telephony companies
Yeah.
and cable providers. And the thing that people pay them for is they've gone through and mapped basically every residential portion of the US. So they know with their database, you can easily determine whether you can provide service to them or not based on their address. But they force you to buy this whole, what's called an Icons database, and it's an XML database, and then all the XML elements are numbers.
No. This is worse
So
than
you
that.
don't know what you're doing, so you have to pay them to get their consultants to write your code for you, because it's completely inaccessible.
This is worse than that though, because this thing is called Open Edge by Progress. It's not even written in XML or Java or anything like that. It's written, the actual language is something called Advanced Business Language that only they use.
Oh, APL.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so you know it. Yeah.
No, I just made that. Sorry.
That is their abbreviation though.
I
That
thought
is their
for sure-
abbreviation though.
The way
That is
you answered, I thought for
100%.
sure you
No,
knew.
that's what they fucking call it.
Back in the day.
That's good.
Hey, you think I've heard
Anyone
that
want more
before?
pizza, anyone?
I'll take some.
Take some, yeah. We almost finished it up here, so.
Take the whole
It was
thing.
wrong to take them like 2 slices, you know?
I'll take home whatever you don't want.
You take all of it. I was
Okay.
gonna probably just
I'm
throw
not
out
gonna
the
take
rest,
the box
yeah.
out, because the box is, that's a lot for 4 slices of pizza.
Yeah.
You gonna come to Higbee's?
I'll probably come over, I got one minute now. For once. Since we finished early. She says she's on her way.
Oh, that's right. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Pleasure.
Good to see you.
You know,
Well,
you
now
were
it's what
complaining
I-
about that, but you were at the talk 2 weeks ago, where that guy talked about the,
I wasn't complaining, I was just asking.
no, you were complaining about ADL.
Oh, yeah.
And remember that guy that gave a talk at Ruby,
Yeah.
at the Austin RV, where he wrote his own language, and he built production products in it.
Yeah, I feel like the implication that he made was that he was going to eventually open it up though. But these guys can't say they've been around for 20 years. They're not eventually gonna open up. Like,
Right.
my
Yeah,
takeaway from what
serious.
he was saying
I'm good.
was that he was keeping it under close wraps because it's unfinished.
Right.
And he plans to open it up. These people deliberately keep it closed for super cynical reasons. And also that's illegal because of the 21st Century Cures Act, so they're actually breaking the law by doing that.
Are they? I mean, I feel like they're.
Yeah, there's last year the government released a very strict information sharing law, not information blocking in healthcare. Saying there's all this stuff you can't do, there's all this stuff you have to make available. I think it's just not breaking that law.
So,
Like, he's
specific
like,
to-
yeah, you can't prevent people from violating patient data by locking down things proprietary. That is like the most illegal thing in that legislation, and that's basically what they were doing.